The word bar has many meanings. A long piece of wood or metal to prevent somebody from doing something. A measure of music. A test you pass to become a lawyer. A place that serves drinks. Yet there's only one definition that we honor at YTD: an amount of food or substance formed into a rectangular block. That's right, we've established three top notch bars, and we're pitting them against each other in a winner take nothing matchup. It's the bar showdown right now on You Tried Dat. You Tried Dat. Bar showdown. I'm Nick Novak with my pals Chad Hancock,
Howdy.
Nick Geiger.
Hey there.
Guys, we're going to be eating a few bars tonight. But I want to start by talking about not a bar, but in fact a hotel I recently stayed at. It was a bed and breakfast that my wife booked, and it was in a restored train station, which was really cool because the rooms were in old train cars that were fixed up really nice, and all of the main rooms had train decor and model trains around them. So it was interesting.
That sounds neat.
But we didn't know is that even though this train station has been shut down, the train still passed by the station at a very regular interval.
Was it like a super quiet train that didn't bother you at all?
So about every 25 minutes, you would hear "Her, her," and the walls would start rumbling. And the people couldn't have been nicer, like the people who were there, and they've made amazing food for us and everything. But I said, you can't come back here. You can't. It was after the first night when I didn't sleep, I spent the next day dreading going to bed again.
So it was all night. It was like that.
It was all night, all day. I got used to it. By the time we left, I was getting more used to it, and I could see why, if you lived there, you probably wouldn't think much of it. But it really was difficult. Have you guys had situations where a place you stayed, a hotel or something, just ended up being something different than you thought, or had a bad circumstance?
Well, hold on. So, wouldn't that have shown up in like the reviews or something? Like it's just like nobody mentioned that. Oh, by the way, there's a noisy ass train that goes by every 5 seconds.
Well, I think because it's a bed and breakfast and you're not reviewing like Holiday Inn, and the people are super nice. It's this old couple, super nice, that you don't give it a low rating, And so we went back and kind of looked at and more specifically into them, and people said, yeah, the trains woke me up a couple times, once or twice at night, and everyone sort of downplayed it because these people were so nice. And even I thought, like, I could never give these nice, sweet old couple a bad review or anything like that. So
I probably would. They were super nice, but the fucking train's 1 star. Something like that.
And actually, there were people who would wait outside this bed and breakfast who weren't staying there, and would just stand there for hours waiting for these specific trains to come by. Like, I guess it's kind of this train community where people were like, oh, here comes the 309. And then they're like taking photographs of it as it zooms past.
Wow. Get a life.
Yeah. It was weird. And then they try to, like, right as the train passed, they try to like climax right over the train, like really as it flew by. It's kind of awkward.
Oh yeah.
Forgot to mention
there was
that
one
part.
guy there that instead of smashing a penny underneath the train tracks, he just smashed his own balls.
Yeah.
It was such an honor.
That's how he got off.
That's how he got off. You got off one time, apparently.
Yep, that's it.
How did he
Literally
know that's how he got off?
done.
It's not something you can really practice.
Even though that was happening, I decided to lead with just how noisy the trains were.
You read further into the reviews, and somebody's like 5 stars, but there's a lot of ball smashing going on.
Yeah, 5 stars, but the hotel is full of sex perverts.
So how about you guys?
I think probably the worst hotel experience I had, and my wife and I will go back and like make reference to this all the time, was For our honeymoon, we spent 2 weeks in Egypt, and near the end of that time, we went to the southern part of Egypt. There's a place called Abu Simbel, and there's like a really really beautiful old temple there. That's like absolutely gorgeous. I actually liked it more than the pyramids. It was my favorite part of Egypt. But the town that's next to the temple is very small, and there's only 3 hotels in the whole town. And so it's like a high end hotel that's very expensive, like a couple $100s a night. There's a mid-range hotel, but it's also very small, and it has like amazing reviews, and like they cook awesome food there and stuff. And then there's a dirt cheap like hostel style hotel. And so we are not big advanced planners. We're kind of like, oh well, we'll just like find a hotel when we get to town or whatever. And so like a day before we were going to get there, we're like, calling these different, like these 3 hotels, like, do you have anything? And the mid-range place, which seems like the best option, was of course like fully booked. And then the high-end place was just like, I think they had like 1 room left, but it was just way too expensive. So we're like, well, we'll just roll the dice with this like cheap place. It's called Abu Simbel Tourist Village. And and so we get there, and first of all, we were the only people there. They had like 20 rooms or something, and we were the only people that were apparently stupid enough to actually stay in the tourist village. So it's like no other guests around. We get into our actual room, and it's just like the walls, floor, everything is just so caked with dirt. Like I set my backpack down and like leaned it up against the wall, and then when I pulled it off the wall, it like took like half the wall with it. It's just like covered in dirt. It was so gross that we actually like slept. We didn't want to sleep in the sheets, so we slept like on our sleeping bags, like on top of on top of the beds or whatever. And then, but the worst part was that we literally at one point like could not get the door to unlock, like from the inside. Like we couldn't open the door from the inside to leave the room. And like the guy had said when he checked us in, like, oh, there's like a trick, like a way you're supposed to, like kind of jiggle the handle or whatever to get the door to open.
There's a trick I pull where I lock you in your room and then don't let you out.
Yeah, the trick where I've actually propped a chair up against the other side of the door. So like we can't get out, but fortunately we're on like the ground floor. So I ended up like having to open up the window and like crawl out through the window to the outside and then walk back around to the front and unlock it like with the key in order to actually open it. Because like we had to get out to like go see the temple.
I'm picturing your hand just like punching through this dirt wall like straight to the outside.
Yeah, I just kept leaning my backpack up against the wall until there was like no more wall left. And so there was like some people that we met up with that like we had been on a Nile River cruise earlier in the trip, and there was some of the people on that cruise that we had become friends with they were staying in like the mid-range place. And so we went over to the mid-range place and like had dinner with them over there, and like it was like walking into like an absolute paradise. Like it was so meticulously clean, like the people were friendly, the food was amazing, all the doors opened no problem. And so we were just like, what have we done? I said to my wife, like, never again will we stay at like because it was so dirt cheap, and which is why we were tempted to stay there. And I'm like, never again will we stay in Abu Simbel tourist village.
Geiger, did you ever stay at Abu Simbel?
No. We when we just backpacked, we just slept underneath the Sphinx, like right near one of its paws. I think it's probably illegal or sacrilege or something. But no,
the only hotel worse than that is in Saukville, though, I heard.
Yeah, that's it's. If there was a hotel in Saukville, there probably would be worse, but honestly, I don't think there is.
And there's the famous Saukville Sphinx, which is just like a statue of Brett Favre laying on his stomach.
He's scratching himself and taking dick pics. There's or you can stay in the stable where our mayor is kept. You can feed him hay and clean out his stall. He likes a nice sugar cube in the morning.
Is the hotel made of bratwurst?
Yeah. Yes. It's the problem is it's really like squishy and greasy in there. Usually the whole walls are just made of sausage casings. There's a lot of fennel seed everywhere. But no, knock on wood, I've had pretty good luck with hotels. I mean, I think probably the worst hotels I've stayed in with you guys in various trips where we're all like sharing a room. I actually lived in a hotel my old apartment in Milwaukee, like you remember that tiny one, was half hotel, half apartment building. So my phone calls would have to go through a switchboard. So I'd have a phone with the little red light on it, and people would have to call and say room. I don't even remember my room, like whatever, 201 or something, and then we'd put it through.
It was 69, wasn't it?
It was room 69. I'd like to call room 69. Too late. He's too busy fucking in there.
Your room was one of the all-time styes that I've ever seen.
It was a disgusting hovel. It was 12 feet by 12 feet. I mean, it was not very big. I wouldn't let people into the kitchen because I was too lazy to take out the garbage and the recycling. So it was just stacks of newspaper and like, because I got a subscription to the newspaper. Like just for the sports section, like I fucking read the paper. And it was just stacks of like newspaper and like dirty dishes that had mold all over them. My actual room was just full of like laundry. In fact,
didn't you use like a pile of dirty clothes as a bedside table or something chair? Like that?
No, I put it. It's like when people would come over, I would put an old bedspread on top of the laundry pile so they just wouldn't see it. But our friend Gaudio didn't know and thought it was a beanbag chair and just was sitting in it all night, and I didn't tell him. There's stains everywhere. It was gross. I'm much more clean now than I was then, but it was pretty gnarly for a while.
Of coming through a wall, you were almost murdered by a maniac digging through a wall into your room, right?
Yes. Yeah, a prostitute lived next door to me in that same building. So I'll run through the high points, I guess you could call them. So my first encounter with my neighbor, it was like 10 o'clock at night, and on like a weekday. I lived there while I was in college, and she just knocks on my door, and I open it up, and there's this greasy, stringy-haired, like tattooed up lady, piercings everywhere, and she's like, "Hey, I don't know if it was you or the other guy, but can I borrow your hair dryer?" Yeah. And I just was like, "Huh?" I'm like, "I don't have a hair dryer." She goes, "You don't?" And I just shut the door because I didn't know what was going on.
Was the other guy the person that lived on the other side of her, I guess? She just had a hair dryer?
Was perhaps, she like, I'll smash your balls with a train for $10 as you close the
door? She was a very specific hooker. She drove you out to the train tracks, carefully laid your nutsack out on the tracks, and just waited with you holding your hand while it happened.
Was one of the tattoos like across her back? It just said, "I am the Abu Simbel tourist village of whores."
Yes, that's what it was. It's kind of strange how we had both told each other these stories and never made that connection before today. But so then I would just hear like rock music blasted at all hours of the night until like 3 a.m. And like I was in college, I didn't sleep that much anyway, so I didn't care that much. But it was kind of weird. And now that looking back on it, it makes sense because I would see like every time I'd be coming in or out of my apartment, there'd be some new dude coming in or out. He would always look startled when I'd come out, like look at me, and I'm like, whatever. She has a lot of friends.
He's like checking you for a badge or something.
Right. So one morning it was like 10:30 in the morning on a Saturday, and I was doing something in my apartment. I don't know, probably nothing.
Probably beating
off. And it sounds like somebody is getting their ass kicked in there. Like there's like breaking and like she's screaming and there's some other like noise in there. And the wall between our rooms is shaking, like literally vibrating. Stuff in my room is vibrating. And it just says smash, smash. And so I called down the front desk and said, "I think someone's getting assaulted in there or something. I don't know what's going on." So they called up to her room and she's like, I heard her on the phone and it stopped for a little bit. And then breaking, smashing again. So I just left. I'm like, I don't want to be around when this happened, whatever. Came back. Apparently nothing, everything was fine. So the last time I saw her, she was down at the front desk and she was asking there was this little old lady that worked behind the desk. She was kind of ran the apartment complex. Her name was Mrs. Sweet. And she was like, "Hey, do you know where I can find beer and rock and roll music?" And this, bless her heart, this little old lady's like, "This is Milwaukee, honey. Just walk 10 feet. You'll find some beer." Like she was like, you're just being real coy with her. So she left. And apparently they found her in the bushes the next morning. And I knew one of the hooker, not the little lady. So I knew one of the guys behind the front desk, and we were like friends. And he's like, I said, "Hey, he's like, oh, you'll be happy to know your neighbor's like not going to be living here anymore." And I said, "What happened?" He's like, "Well, she got arrested." And I'm like, "What for?" He's like, "Well, we're not supposed to say, but she was a prostitute." I was like, "Holy shit!" So he's like, "Yeah, come up here."
You're not supposed to say, but I'm about to tell you.
You're not supposed to say, but she's behind the desk sucking me off right now.
And I'm not supposed to show you all these explicit pictures of evidence that I have right here, but whip your dick out. Let's get beaten.
No. So, no, he literally goes like, "Come up here for a second." So I went upstairs, and he opens the door to her room, like, because they had to like go in there and get all her stuff out, because she was in prison and she couldn't come get it herself, or jail, I don't know. And there was like the wall between our rooms. It was like a wall and then a wall on her side and some space in between. She had smashed a hole through that side of the wall, and was like, there was like markings, like blood marks and stuff and scratch marks on my side of it, because she was hopped up on meth or something. It was just like going nuts. That was all the smashing I heard that one day. So, and my bed was right up against that wall. So I always like pictured like just being asleep, and she comes smashing through the wall like meth head Kool-Aid man, and just like lands on top of me, starts sucking my dick or whatever.
Yeah, you got any rock and roll music?
What's that fucking hair dryer? Just started socking me in the face. But yeah, so I live next to a prostitute.
Was it all behind a picture of Rita Hayworth?
Yeah, yeah. There was no redemption to be found in my room. It was just
she tore it down and read, and the warden looked through into your room.
Looks like she lived next to a fucking prostitute, Red.
And then they arrested her and then evicted me, because once they went into my house, how fucking filthy it was, even she didn't want to be there. It's like, you haven't washed any of these dishes? She just got up and left. I'm going to go fuck a cleanly guy with a meth problem.
The best part is how this guy says, "I'm not supposed to say anything, but here's the details, and come on up to the room. Let me show you everything that happened."
Oh, yeah, no, he should have been fired. Yeah, that was
the worst.
Just go right under this police tape. Don't worry about that.
No, he was like, he worked behind the desk at the hotel. He wasn't a policeman.
Oh.
Hey, I'm not supposed to share this with you, but here's our case file. Do you want to get in the interview room with her? You can find out what happened to your missing hairdryer. I don't have a goddamn hairdryer.
I'm not supposed to share this with you, but here's my phone unlock passcode and my social security number.
Yeah. So, yeah, not only did I not get any checks in college, but the only one I did get was so desperate for me, she was trying to break through the wall between our rooms.
Well,
and by me, I mean she was tested for methamphetamines.
She will be spending some time behind bars, but we will be eating bars right now.
Just so smooth. I'm just so impressed.
We've got 3 bars to eat today. We use a 5-point scale: a love dat, like dat, indifferent to dat, dislike dat, and hate dat. And let's start with the one I think we have the lowest hopes for, and that's the Lucky Charms bar. So this is the Lucky Charms bar. I've only found them in the 6-pack. That's where I got them from. And I've seen a number of other cereal bars. Have you guys had any bars that were originally cereal?
Unless you're counting Rice Krispie treats, no. This is not something I would ever buy. Oh my god, it smells really sweet.
My kids love Lucky Charms. Like, we have them in the house a lot, and I've still never had any. I just don't.
You've never had a bowl of Lucky Charms?
I mean, maybe when I was real kid, like I said, when I was little, my parents only let me have like sugary cereal as dessert, not as cereal. So we never had it in the house.
I would say that Lucky Charms is one of the worst cereals. Like, I don't think it's good at all.
Do you like sugary cereal though? I mean, I know you eat Reese's, whatever, but
up until like 3 years ago, every day I started the morning with a bowl of Reese's Puffs. So, or sometimes I'd switch it up and do Cocoa Puffs instead. So yes, okay. I like sugary cereal.
I actually think Lucky Charms are pretty good. Lucky Charms, regular cereal. Now this is basically, you can see the pieces, the marshmallows and the regular Lucky Charms pieces in here, but it really has a consistency of kind of one of the processed Rice Krispie treats, and it has like some kind of a gooey bottom on it.
Like a marshmallow, white marshmallow bottom. And this is another case where, like, I mean, I know the bar looks almost nothing like the package. You know, like the package has the full marshmallows like in there, but here they're all just like colored, squished blobs.
This looks gross. I was gonna say it's like pressed rice, like Chad said, with like some just colorful melted globs in there, and the bottom is just like white paste.
Wow. That is very sweet. It says only 100 calories per bar, which is shocking to me.
Yeah, that is shocking.
Novak, would you say this tastes like Lucky Charms?
No. And I'll get to that when my rating is very far off from my feeling about Lucky Charms. So, Geiger, we'll start with you, though. Geiger, what do you think?
Well, I just wanted to validate, because like I said, I haven't really had it. This is gross. It's very, very sweet. I mean, it's not like inedible. This is like the only food I had in my house I could eat it, but it's just way too sweet. You don't really, if you're going into it trying to get marshmallow, there's really no marshmallow in it. It's just like this sticky area of the bar that doesn't taste really any different from the rest of the bar. Like I could have all of this, and I really couldn't tell what bite I had more marshmallows in. Mostly because I think that bottom layer of vanilla completely blows out the flavor of anything else in here. Not that I think there's a ton of flavor in there, but all I can taste is that bottom layer, and it's really gross and has a bad aftertaste. This is trash. I hate this. This is a hate dat. I really don't like it at all.
Wow.
This is garbage. It's just way too sweet. It's just, ugh. And it's like not a good mouthfeel. It's all like mushy. I'm not a fan.
That's justified. Chad, what do you think?
This bar is extremely bad. Like, I think the point Geiger said about only being able to taste like that sickly sweet bottom is true. The consistency is not particularly great. Maybe if I could taste the individual, Lucky Charms marshmallows here and there, that might be something. I'm actually not going to give it a hate dat. I'm only going to go dislike. It's a very strong dislike, but I was not sort of repulsed by it in any way, like I usually am with things that I give a hate dat to. So, but this is not a good bar. I cannot recommend it. So dislike that.
I am repulsed by this in many ways. It's really disgusting. And I like Lucky Charms. Just rating Lucky Charms, I'd give them a like that. I can eat a bowl of them, and it tastes fine. Whatever they use to stick this together is not working. It reminds me a lot of the processed Rice Krispie treats, where a homemade Rice Krispie treat is so good,
Yeah,
and a packaged Rice Krispie treat is completely inedible.
Yeah.
So it's really just a huge disappointment. I'm gonna go with Geiger and give it a hate dat. So we've got 2 hates and a dislike.
It's my boy.
Really terrible start there for the Lucky Charms bar. Now, next up, we're going to do the nut butter filled Clif bar. And I had talked about this in a previous episode when you guys talked. I think we did the Trader Joe's bar.
Yep.
And I said, this is the one I regularly eat. So I kind of went out of my way to get this, make sure to get this specific bar. And I'll go first to the rating because I already know how I feel about it. But it's a Clif bar, and I'll say that I don't like most Clif bars, but this is a big exception to this like health bar kind of rule for me.
Would you say that this particular Clif bar is bar none for you?
Absolutely.
All right.
Sounds like something I'd say.
Can we just also agree that this thing looks like a loose turd?
It actually, what it looks like to me, it looks like after my dog vomits. Like he's partially digested some of his dog food, and then I hear him, and I'm just like, no, get off the carpet, puke on the floor, and then out comes this.
So this is peanut butter, but it's also peanut butter inside. Is that right?
Okay. Yes. The peanut butter inside, so you got to make sure you get to the middle. So if you would need to break it in half, you could, but the peanut butter inside is extremely creamy. The outside's almost oatmeal-ish in its texture, and the inside is like a very creamy peanut butter.
And this gives you energy or something, right? In theory. So it's energy bar.
This makes you want to jump off a cliff?
I feel pretty jacked right now.
There's a guy in the front riding a bike, like near a cliffside.
You are Jack Geiger.
I've seen these nut butter filled ones. They have different varieties, and I've tried some of the other ones, and this is one of the only ones I really like. I will start. I really, really like these. I eat them pretty regularly. It's kind of like makes me feel like I'm not eating a candy bar. So I can like bring one to work and eat one like in between meals, and fills me up pretty good. I love these. I'm gonna give it a love dat. I knew that before I even tried it. I eat them pretty regularly, so that's how I will start. Geiger, what do you think?
It's good. I like the peanut butter inside. The peanut butter is really good to me. It's creamy. There's a decent amount of it. It's not just like the one of those. There's like a thin layer inside. I don't love whatever is at the rolled oats or something, like the little lumps of shit on the outside. I don't know. For some reason, it's a weird texture to me, and it doesn't really add much to it. But I suppose without it, it would probably just be a block of, I don't know, like granola-y thing around a peanut butter. So I guess I get why they did it. It's a solid. It's just like eating a bar of peanut butter, which I like peanut butter a lot. So it's a handy way to get your peanut butter in for the day. Eating a whole one of these is a bit much for me. Like unless I had something to break it up, like I was drinking juice or something. I'd probably say indifferent. I'm right down the middle of the road. It's decent, but it's nothing like. And I could see eating this for breakfast, but for right now, I'm feeling more kind of middle of the roadish.
All right, and indifferent from Geiger. Chad, what do you think?
I agree. The peanut butter on the inside is very good. I think the consistency of the outside is a complete train wreck. I don't like the way this thing feels in my mouth until I get to the middle. That middle is outstanding, but the outside of the bar is sort of bringing it down for me. I can see why you like it. Like, you know, I'm not gonna hate on you for that. It's not bad. The flavor's pretty good, but the mouthfeel is driving me crazy. So I'm gonna slide in right there with Geiger at an indifferent to that.
All right, a love and two indifference, but a decent score, but a beatable score. To me, the peanut butter just tastes a little bit more natural, like real peanut butter, than getting like a peanut butter candy bar or something.
For sure. It does taste like some peanut butter straight out of a jar slapped into the middle of this thing.
Absolutely. And like I said, as a conveyance and a convenient conveyance for eating peanut butter on the go, you could do a lot worse than this.
All right, segment time. And the segment we're going to be doing today is a musical segment where I've searched out songs that have some kind of food or drink word in the title.
Oh boy!
Okay. All right, so you're gonna have to. I'm gonna give you lyrics from the song, and they're popular songs that most everybody knows. So I'm gonna give you lyrics, and you're gonna have to guess what the song is. Now, there's 3 different ways you can score here. The first round, I'll give you the lyrics, but I've changed the lyrics to have Mario themed words in them.
I named the song based on the lyrics that I've made up.
So if you can guess it with the Mario words, then you get 3 points. All right. If you cannot get the Mario words, I'll give you the regular words. If you get the regular words, then you can get 2 points. And if at last you can't get it with the regular words, I will give you the first word of the title. Okay, for a last chance at a point.
This is what happens when you don't get enough sleep at some train restaurant or whatever.
I was up all night.
He's just listening to songs to drown out the sound of the train going by.
I was either going to do this or go smash my balls in the rails, and I was like, oh, just... All right, so we'll start with... There's going to be 4 rounds here. Chad, I'm going to start with you, because I know you know this song.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Is it Baby Got Back?
Got food in it?
Because that's not the only song I know.
Remember the title.
Depends on how much you like big butts.
Food or drink in there somewhere. It could be loosely placed in there.
In the title of the song.
Right.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it narrows it down. Here's your Mario lyrics, Chad.
My Lucky Charm bar brings all the boys to the yard. Is that it?
It's millions of Goombas coming for me. Millions of Goombas, Super Mario 3.
That's so fucking stupid.
That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. I do know that song because I have all the albums by this band.
I know you do.
I'm not ashamed to admit it. That is Peaches from Presidents of the United States.
Yes, that is correct. 3 points for Chad.
Yeah.
I knew you knew that. I knew you were like one of the only 6 people in the United States who really like those guys.
Yeah. I love them.
All right, Geiger.
Great.
Your song. Are you ready? Koopa Troopa Ya Ya Da Da. Koopa Troopa Ya Ya here.
That's Lady Marmalade. Or Marmalade.
That's correct. Yeah, I put the easy ones first. So you're both on the board.
I want to just break down a clip. If people were doing drops for us, I want someone just remixing you saying Koopa Troopa Ya Ya, whatever the fuck that part was.
All right, Chad. Thwomp Boomba Goomba, a thwomp mushroom.
What the fuck? What?
There's no non-Mario words in there. How am I supposed to get that?
Boomba Goomba, a thwomp
I actually know what
mushroom.
it is. Is it Tutti Frutti?
It is.
How the fuck did you get that? Fucking... Okay.
Because it rhymes with a wop bop a loop bop a wop bamboo.
All right, hold on. So I'm not only up against this ridiculous challenge, but I'm up against Mario Savant over here who can... Oh, well, technically, he's from the land of Thwompadoodle, and then...
All right, Geiger. Here's your chance. You got to get this to keep up. I bet you're wondering how I knew about your plans to use shells so blue. I hope some other cart will come pass me up so I can win the mushroom cup. The beginning of the lyrics is your key. I bet you're wondering how I knew.
Yeah, I bet I'm wondering how I'm supposed to fucking figure this out. So, bet you're wondering how I knew. Oh, that's a famous song, Pork Chops and Gravy by fucking Elvis. I don't know. I have no fucking idea what that is.
Is it Baby Got Baby Back Ribs?
Chad can't steal it. Here's your check. Here's the real lyrics. Remember, it's got some kind of a food word in the title.
All right.
I bet you're wondering how I knew about your your plans to make me blue with some other guy you knew before. Between the two of you guys, you know I loved you more.
I still have no clue what that is.
I don't know that one either.
The first words for your final chance at point is I heard. Those are the first 2 words of the title.
I heard about that eggplant. I heard about that dish of eggplant parmesan. Do I got it?
That's it. By the famous, that's Frank Sinatra's B-side.
Doobie doobie doo. I love that eggplant. Doobie doobie doo.
I heard it through the grapevine.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That makes sense now. All right.
How I knew. Yeah.
Wait, what's the name of the song, though?
That's the name of the song.
Oh, I heard it through the California Raisins, right? I was thinking the raisins was the food part.
California Raisins?
Yeah, that's what
California Raisins?
By the
Marvin
artist,
Gaye.
the California Raisins marketing department.
I was thinking of the California Raisins singing it, though.
All right. Round 3. Chad is up 6-3. All right, Chad, it's a newer song. So I don't know how much you listen to pop radio anymore.
Unless it's by Ariana Grande, then probably didn't listen to it.
Don't waste your time with the Bowser Beast. Waste your time with the Bowser Beast. You should be rolling with Peach. You should be rolling with Peach.
Oh, I know this one.
Oh.
I know the song. I just don't know the title.
Can you repeat the Mario lyrics?
Don't waste time with the Bowser Beast. Waste time with the Bowser Beast. You should be rolling with Peach. You should be rolling with Peach.
Yeah, I know the song too, but I don't know the title. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to give me the other, probably all the way to 1 point.
Okay, here's the real lyrics. Waste time with the masterpiece. Don't waste time with the masterpiece. You should be rolling with me. You should be rolling with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the first couple words of the title or whatever?
The first word of the title is cake.
Well, I guess you got that part.
Geiger, you can get a point for a steal here if you can come up with it.
Yeah, I don't know the title.
Is the title Cake Boss?
Cake Boss.
Cake by the Ocean.
Oh, Cake by the Ocean.
The title? Oh, Cake by... Okay.
I never knew that was the name of the
song. You guys have heard that song, right?
Who is Bruno Mars? Who is that?
Yeah.
It's some like one-hit wonder type of deal. DNCE is the group. They may have had many hits. I don't know, but I know this one. All right. Here's your third one, Geiger.
Mm-hmm.
Green Warp Vine, take me to World 3. Don't let me lose a life and go back to the start.
There's so many words. I'm trying to figure.
Can I just point out that the Warp Vine, there's no Warp Vine that takes you to World 3. Can I just point that out?
I know, but they rhyme. It rhymes with the words.
Yeah. Fucking nerd. All right, great. Green Warp Vine, take me to a pipe. What am I going?
Take me to World 3.
World 3.
The song goes, Green Warp Vine.
Oh, red wine.
Yes, that is it.
Oh, you didn't sing any of mine.
Yeah. Give me. I can't tell you who it's by. It's like that fake reggae song.
All right, Chad, you ready?
Yeah.
Yoshi, ride or die. Cool, friendly dragon, such a sweet surprise. Apples taste so good, you can beat Shy Guy.
Oh, I know that one. Yoshi, ride or die.
Yeah, this is a game I'm just naturally bad at.
I'll sing the beginning of it. Yoshi, ride or die. Cool, friendly dragon, such a sweet surprise.
Yeah. Okay,
one, yeah.
I do know this one. Yeah, that's She's My Cherry Pie.
Yes, cherry pie.
No. It's your Yoshi, ride or die. I don't know if you heard the song.
Yeah.
All right, Geiger,
you gotta get this one, Geiger.
All right, a lot of pressure.
Lakitu put my cart to the start because the jump was too high. Those good old carts are in the desert that's dry, and this will be the way that I die. Oh, the shell will be the way that I die.
That's a bye-bye Miss American Pie.
American Pie, that was the last one.
Don McLean.
I stopped keeping score. I don't know who the fuck won, but
it's actually a tie. No, we
well,
tied.
You gave me a hint, so it's I'll have Chad.
All right, here's the tiebreaker.
Unless you have a funny tiebreaker, we can.
The tiebreaker is name one other song with the word food in the title.
Oh, okay.
Sex and Candy.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that was immediate. I love that song too. All right. Hold on. Just give me 2 seconds.
And you're not allowed to just say the band Smashing Pumpkins.
No, what's that? Apple Bottom Jeans or Flo Rida? Apple Bottom Jeans.
That song's called Get Low.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You got here you could go with Eggplant Parmesan.
I could go with the
famous Frank Sinatra.
Rigatoni and Meatballs. Basically, he just sang about Italian menu items, didn't he?
Yeah. Or Beethoven's Fifth Course.
Get out of here. Just get up and leave your own apartment. Lasagna by Garfield.
No. What do you think that prostitute, what kind of music was she really looking for? She was looking for rock and roll music, but specifically, what kind of rock and roll music do you think she was looking for in Milwaukee?
From the way she looked, she's probably looking for something by Skid Row. Maybe something good to jam a needle in your arm to. I don't know. Probably like death metal or something. She looked pretty hardcore.
Wrong. She was looking for Mario themed rock and roll music. Clearly.
Yeah. She's like, "Hey, was it you or was it me that had like Lakitu's fishing pole?" Yeah. What? She just wanted to come over and play Mario Kart really bad.
she just came flying through the wall one day and was like, "I'm back in the Mushroom Kingdom." And you're like, "What the fuck?"
She also had a punctured vocal cord. She was like a human chain chomp. She just kept smashing through. Just started smashing through my apartment.
Okay, let's say she busted through, but was acting really calm. Like you wake up, a prostitute busts through your wall. At this point, you're about what, like 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
So a prostitute busts through your wall
calmly,
but calmly. Right. Crawls through.
Hello.
Dusts herself off.
Right. Yeah. And then says a freebie on the house.
No. Look, this is not
There's nothing suspect about that. Why?
No, look, this is not a statement of my gentlemanliness or my not needing to have sex at that age. You did not see this woman. She looked like a pincushion. She looked like she had been.
It's not a statement of your gentlemanliness. You just prefer that your ladies of the night come through the front door.
right. Don't cause me massive property damage. No, she looked like the bottom of that Lucky Charms bar. She was just she's rather disgusting and a little
she
sweet.
Looked like that guy's ball sack after the train ran over it.
She looked like she had been hit by a train a million times. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say she just busted through a little bit, like she got a little hole through the wall, and,
yeah, right.
And then she passed out.
Would you say that she busted through just the tip?
She just wait. Are you making a glory hole in my wall? Is that what you're asking?
I'm getting there.
Didn't mean to preempt you.
So you could. There's a hole in the wall, and the next morning you wake up. It seems quiet next door, but you don't know. There's just a small glory hole in the wall. You can have your apartment totally furnished with the most expensive furniture. You pick anything you want out, giant flat screen television, whatever you want. But you have to put your penis through the glory hole for 5 minutes and hold it there. And whatever happens, happens.
No.
Whatever.
First of all, thanks for letting me. Thanks for letting me furnish this shithole. I could all the great furniture I can pack in 12 by 12.
Geiger, you could get a real beanbag chair instead of a pile of dirty clothes.
Second of all, I don't know if you heard the part where she was smashing the wall. She might not even see. It just might make it a target. She might just smash my penis flat like a train.
Well, that's why I said it's the next morning. It seems calm. All seems calm.
Oh, wow. Since you mentioned that,
yeah.
I missed that wrinkle.
Yeah. No, since this drugged out prostitute has clearly a normal work schedule, I'm sure in the morning she's just getting a cup of coffee and reading the paper. It's like, oh, did you see the latest thing about the stock exchange? Oh, no? You got any meth? So she's, she might just start yanking on my dong. Well,
that's the word. That's what you'd be worried about? That's it?
Actually, that's the only good thing that could happen. I don't want to put it anywhere near one of her holes, but if it's just a hand, then yeah, she could give me a hand, but I don't know. There's a lot of slivers and shit in there. I don't know. Nothing's good about it.
You worried that she was going to start running a model train over your balls or something while you're...
Yes, running a model train on my dick. That's what I was worried about. A model train. I was worried she'd jam my dick in her mouth and then start singing Amazing Grace, only with fucking Koopa Troopa shoved in the middle somewhere. If loving you is right, I don't want to be calm. No, there's lots of bad things. I don't think you understand. She was a disgusting prostitute. If she had been a good-looking prostitute, maybe. But no dice, my friend.
I'll tell you. When I ask you whether you would take the freebie, I think you're lying. And so let's eat this lion bar.
Got it.
So this Nestle Lion Bar was in the international section of the grocery store. I looked up, and I guess it started in England. It's originated from England. But Geiger, I thought you said you maybe saw it over when you were in Europe at some point, right?
Yeah, I had one in Germany. So, but it is, I do believe it's British. But yeah, I had them when I was in Germany. We actually sought one out because my boss had heard they were good. So I have eaten one of these.
Yeah, it's from Nestle's UK division, according to the back of the thing.
You can tell because when they say no artificial colors, they have a U in the word color.
Oh, those fuckers.
It's got a big picture of a lion roaring on the left side, and then it says new recipe, extra crispy. Do you see anywhere that gives a description of what's actually in it?
Looks like he's actually shouting that, yeah.
No, there's just like the picture, which maybe looks like some wafers, caramel, and then rice puffs and covered in chocolate. I'm going to take this bar and put it in my hole of glory, aka my mouth.
Whatever happens, happens. The cross section's kind of interesting. It almost looks like there's a. It looks like someone put like a chocolate around a Kit Kat bar, and like within that chocolate, there's various crisp rice pieces.
I feel like we've been eating a lot of crisp rice lately.
I just saw Jed. I just saw you whip it aside, so I have a feeling you're not rating it that highly. Why don't you tell us what you think?
I'm not loving the wafers on the inside. I don't think they're particularly good wafers. You know, if you compare it to some of the other wafer bars like Kit Kat or Re-Stick or something, those ones just sort of taste a lot better. I'd like these to be crisper and more flavorful. The chocolate also, there's something a little off about the chocolate, and it's not like they don't know how to make like chocolate in the UK. You know, like I've heard that we actually have different chocolate formulas here in the US that most people around the world think taste like shit. Like actually people think it tastes like vomit because of some chemicals that they add here. And I do love like UK chocolate.
What?
Yeah, I've heard that before from like European people. Like dairy milk, right? That like if you get a dairy milk that's from the UK, like that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
I don't think this chocolate is particularly good. There's really nothing about this bar that is like standing out to me. It's not that bad, but I'm kind of full. I had a big dinner, so that's kind of why I tossed it aside.
wait a minute.
So, I'm just saying that's why I'm not eating more of it.
It's your job to eat it, rate it.
I mean, it's delicious, but I just ate a lasagna, so I'm out.
No, I mean, I ate enough to get an idea. Yeah, I'm just going to go middle of the road indifferent to that. I think this could be a lot better. I'm kind of disappointed.
Ooh, surprised. I'm a little surprised by that. I did not have a big dinner. Had a regular sized dinner. I listened to Frank Sinatra.
Would you say you had a decent dinner?
One of our friends always we'd suggest going to some restaurant or something that's cheap, and he would get mad and say, "I just want to have a decent dinner." Setting the bar at decent.
I want to have a mediocre meal.
I want to have a super supper.
This person would also call it a mecor meal, probably. But
right, mecor. I like this. I think it's tasty. I think the wafer's good. The chocolate does taste different, noticeably different, and it's not in a bad way. It's just in a way, like you're saying, like I'm not used to it. Different than what I expected, but I would definitely eat this again. It's not perfect. I could do maybe without the crisp rice in the outside layer because the wafer is enough of that kind of texture. So I'm going to give it a like that. So an indifferent and a like. So Geiger, the winner here really depends on your ranking.
Yeah, I agree with a lot more. I think with what Novak said. I agree. There's too. I'm not a huge fan of puffed rice or crisps in a candy bar, like I've said before. So I agree. There's too much dry stuff in the middle. If you have the big wafer, you don't need all the crisps. I think that's overkill. But it's got a good caramel flavor. The chocolate's still good. It is different, but it's still good. It's a big bar, which is satisfying. It's a big candy bar. If you've had like a big meal already, you probably can't eat that much of it. But maybe if you've only had, say, like a decent or sub-decent meal, you can probably fit more in your stomach.
Eggplant parm or something.
Yeah, some eggplant parm. I wouldn't call it one of my main candy bars.
Yeah, there you go.
That was a pun.
Hold on.
Oh, you get it out. Yeah. Hold on, I can pause while you find that. I could even wait for a rim shot. Or funeral music, either way. No, it's good. It's a like that for me. Again, I wish they would take the Rice Krispies out, but other than that, I think it's a solid candy bar. It's a Not my favorite one in the world, but it's a good candy bar. It's like that.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure that actually officially ties us.
Yep, we got a tie.
With what I think of it as a 5 points for a top, and so 11 points kind of for both. So we can't really say which of the nut butter filled Clif Bar Lion Bar you should get, but we can tell you that you should stay the hell away from the Lucky Charms bar, which was awful.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we'd like to hear about your favorite bar. And Geiger, where can they contact us?
Well, first of all, if you know any prostitutes and they're living next door to you, don't mess around. Call the police. It's illegal. No, I shouldn't shame people like that. Yeah, it's fine. They can do it as long as they're furnishing your apartment ahead of time in exchange for one free hand job to keep your silence. You know what? I would sooner shame the makers of Lucky Charms bar and Lucky Leprechaun himself than I would a sex worker.
Yes.
But you know who should be shamed is the owners of those bed and breakfasts that built a goddamn train right through their establishment. Or, well, built their establishment around a train. They probably didn't build the train.
All right. We've got our bed and breakfast set up. Now we build the train.
A commercially viable working railroad.
Plan will be complete.
I just lay down a sleeve. The train plows through the middle of the room.
Oh, shit.
I still won't give it a bad rating. They're very nice.
The old ladies on the other side like throwing muffins at you in between trains.
Dude, how did you want those eggs? Just screaming over the freight cars that are rumbling through. No, if you would like to get a hold of us, let us know your thoughts on today's snacks, suggest future snacks, give us a question for the mailbag, and just all around let us know how we're doing. Please get a hold of us at youtrieddat@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook with the You Tried Dat group. Hashtag You Tried Dat on Twitter. You Tried Dat on YouTube, Stitcher, Instagram. I think that's all of them. Yeah. SoundCloud and your iTunes playlist. That's where you should find us. You should be listening after you download it. And if you don't, we'll stick a train on you.
Choo choo.
Well, that's not how trains work, but yeah, choo choo.
Last question: Who was the person you could pick who busts through your wall? Who's the person you want busting through that wall?
This is a real person, fictional. Can I say like Abe Lincoln?
You could.
You think he's fictional? Hate to break it to you, he's a real guy.
I don't believe the history books.
We didn't land on the moon, and there was no Abe Lincoln.
Really quickly, I have to interject since we're talking about history. This made me crack up. This has nothing to do with the question, but I told Novak the story the other day. So my wife and I were playing Cards Against Humanity with some friends, and she gets this card. She's just staring at it, and she goes, "Nick, I need your help. I don't know what this is. It's some dirty sex term." And so I look at the card, and it's the 3/5 compromise. And I'm like, "You fucking idiot! Read a book." So we have now decided the 3/5 compromise is either if you have an orgy and there's 3 men and 5 women, that's the 3/5 compromise, or if your wife won't let you have sex with you, won't have sex with you, but she'll let you put 3/5 of your penis inside as a compromise. So yeah. Anyway, sorry. So what made up character like Abraham Lincoln?
No, it could be a real person.
Oh, it could be real. Okay.
Right.
What, like, am I going to get hurt?
The correct answer is Kathy Ireland. No, I don't know. Say whatever you want.
Kathy Ireland? Isn't she like 60 by now?
She runs a bed and
don't be
breakfast.
ageist.
A little dated reference there. Yeah. You know who? Jane Mansfield. I don't know. Probably, yeah, Salma Hayek would be nice. Or like Aaron Rodgers, 2 people I'd like to bang.
Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers just busts through and then does
I'd like
what?
to hang out with him. Just hang out and talk about football. Get to meet Aaron Rodgers.
He's going to be disgusted by your fucking clothes looking like a beanbag.
He would be like, what the hell's going on in here? Also, back then, I don't even know if he was like in college. I didn't even know who the fuck he was. A random college football player. Hey, dude.
Shaq. You could pick Shaq.
You could.
Of course you could.
A fictional person like Shaquille O'Neal.
That's an obvious one.
A character invented for the movie Kazam.
How about Dr. Payne? Could he come through?
He just smashes a tetherball through your wall.
Chad, which historical fictional person are you taking?
Somebody made up like, oh, Gandhi or Mother Teresa.
Noak, who would you like to come through your wall?
Probably like definitely somebody fake, like maybe FDR or somebody like that. Just roll through the wall.
Pixar didn't happen. That's how I feel about all history.
Okay, which Mario character?
Bullet Bill. Just end it all.
It's got to be for which Mario character? It's got to be Waluigi. So I could just ask him like, why aren't you in Smash Brothers? No. Not too nerdy for all the listeners of this podcast. All right, never mind.
I mean, not too nerdy. It's just kind of a waste of an opportunity. If you can think of anyone, real or fake, to come through all, I'd like to ask a fake character why the people that created him decided not to develop him in a video game. Wouldn't you want to meet Muhammad Ali or Jesus himself? Yeah, Waluigi, right?
Somebody who made a real sacrifice, like when Waluigi sacrificed by not being in Smash Brothers.
He's not happy with that answer. Wouldn't it be Princess Peach so you could,
There you go.
Storm the castle?
I was always a Daisy man myself.
Oh, upskirt.
Brunette over blonde. What are we talking about?
Why do we always talk about nothing? We talk about nothing of substance, and we butcher history.
Remember that time when Princess Peach had the 3/5 compromise, where the Goombas only got 3/5 of a vote?
The Goombas. Yeah. Remember when Donkey, Diddy, and Funky Kong all wanted to hang out with Princess Peach, and they had to do the old 3/5 compromise?
All right, Chad. Do you think you know more U.S. history or more Mario history?
Is there
That's
Mario?
a serious question.
The Mario history is just Bowser kidnaps Princess over and over and over again. There's no other history.
But let's say I'm asking you, like, what, where does the warp pipe lead to? Which you knew it wasn't World 3. Like, you could tell which warp pipes it was, right? Would you be able...
No, there is a warp pipe that goes to World 3. You said warp vine. The only warp vine... Okay, I'm just going to stop there.
Like, you'd be more likely...
What about the World Warp 2 pipe? Where did that take you? Fight Nazi Germany? Is that...
Yep.
Oh, am I getting my history and my Mario mixed up again?
All right. Well, let's call it there, because now we're... All right.
Devolved
we'll be back next time.
Yet again.
Why does it sound like we're all on meth or something?
We'll be back next time.
Dryer?
It's nonsensical
Be
ramblings.
back next time. When we're trying out 3 brand new snacks.
Is this...
Yep.